Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum and welcome back to another video, folks. Today in this video I am going to be starting off with the Explorer notes here on the Ark Scorched Earth DLC. So the plan is I'm going to make a small mini series in which I'm going to show you every location for each of the Explorer notes, and then of course later on I will be moving on to the bosses. So that is kind of what I'm planning for the DLCs as I make my way through the content. So here we are with the first location. You can see we are close to the Green Obelisk, and I chose this location because this is where I have my base at the moment. So if you've not watched my previous series, I'm gonna basically be showing you the GPS and map coordinates as much as I can. Now in this location there are quite a few Explorer nodes that we can pick up, as well as a cave which does contain 2 Explorer nodes. So this is my location on the map, just to kind of give you an idea. I'm going to try and explain it to you as much as I can. I'm going to try and do this as quick as I can with as few cuts as possible, so that hopefully you guys can get these as well. Some of them are harder to explain and to get to than others, but of course in this series I'm going to start with the desert. So here we are with one of our first Explorer notes. This is the KI note number 28. Here is my location on the map, and of course GPS as well. You can see we are on a building. Now where I can, I am going to pick up the Explorer note off of my Wyvern, and I do suggest you have yourself a flyer, because of course in the desert here we do have the death worms, which can be a bit painful to deal with if you don't have a powerful mount and if they surprise you. So yeah, just to keep that in mind. Over here we have the next Explorer note in this corner right here that I'm trying to get. Sometimes it's a bit fiddly. Let's see if we can do this. I guess not. My Wyvern does not want it, so it's too difficult to get to it. So I'm going to pick up this one on foot. If I can get off my Wyvern, that'd be kind of useful. But yeah, here we go. And we have this note right here. So this one is, I mean, yeah, it is a tablet, as you can see. It does look a bit weird. So here we have my location on the map. GPS coordinates are 77.4 by 77.8. I will read them out because some of you are watching this off of a phone. I'm sorry if I didn't read out the first one. And so further down this way we have that building right there that does have a cave in it, and of course in the cave we will have Explorer notes. But here you can see there's this building right here, and not far from it we have another Explorer note to pick up. It's right here on this rooftop. So there we go. I managed to pick it up with the Wyvern. This is a Helena note, so I'm going to show you the map. Here we are, and the GPS coordinates, which are 79.9 by 75.6. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this location. We're going to go into the cave, so you can actually land your flyer, including a Wyvern, from the top of the building. Something like this. So this kind of keep it safe. We do get a bit of lag here because we do have the cave entrance. So this is the entrance into the building. If you're coming on foot, I do suggest using this building though to pretty much hide your creature until you come back out. This is of course a cave, so do come prepared, and of course we do have to get quite deep into it for the second Explorer note. I'm going to show you the first Explorer note without any cuts because it's easy to get to, but obviously the other Explorer note is kind of challenging to get to. We'll have to fight all sorts of creatures, so I am going to be cutting where I can to save some time, because of course I will have to fight my way through the cave. So this is the Raya tablet number 7. I'm going to show you the map and GPS coordinates. I mean, the map isn't really useful in cave situations, but yeah, this is the GPS coordinates 78.2 by 76.1. Okay, so once you get yourself really deep into the cave, you will come across this artifact. So these are the coordinates, 79.6 by 81.2. You can pick up this artifact if you want to. Might as well if you're here. You know, they do look nice if you're not going to use them for boss battles, but they're useful for boss battles as well. So keep in mind, it is quite dangerous. Once you get the artifact, basically, as you walk out, turn to the right, you'll see that building with the red roof. So we want to go underneath it. It's basically right here. It is kind of like semicircle type of deal going on. And here we have another Explorer note. This one is Rockwell record number 4. And I'm going to show you the GPS coordinates for what it's worth. Alright, here we are. GPS coords are 78.8 by 81.8. And of course, once you're back out, we're going to continue with the next location. So this is where we are. You saw the building that we just went into for the cave. Further along, you can see that there is a oasis. So most of the oases in the desert will have an Explorer note. I say most because not all of them. I will show that when we get to that point. But this oasis right here does have an Explorer note. I did want to gamma normally, bring the gamma to normal. It is kind of getting night. Oh, it's coming up to night, so yeah. So basically, we're going to use the watering holes for a reference, and right there, right next to where you would place a well, you have the next Explorer note. Once again, I'm going to show you the map location and of course the GPS coordinates. They are 83.4 by 71.8. Now from this point onwards, unless things happen that I don't account for or didn't account for, I'm going to show you this uncut so that you guys can follow what I'm doing and see exactly where we are, because sometimes these deserts do look the exact same. So I'm just hoping that this does help. Of course, it does mean that it'll make the video a bit longer, but if it helps, I'm willing to do it. So here's our next ruin, and you can see right there in that corner, that is where we have the next Explorer note. Let me try and do this. So another Raya tablet. I'll leave this up for you a couple of seconds. Let's bring out the map. This is my location, and of course the GPS coordinates are 86.1 by 68.7. Showing you the surrounding area so you guys can see what it looks like. And of course from the ground, it is kind of difficult to distinguish anything. And as I said, it's probably best that you fly. Also on this particular ruin, we have another note. This one is a Rockwell note. So let me bring up, there we go. So this is Rockwell record number 10. Here we have the map location. The coordinates are 86.3 by 68.9. So I think this is one of the few ruins here in the desert that has 2 Explorer notes. I think it is the only one, but correct me if I am wrong. At least the way I remember it. So let me just get my bearings. As you can see, everything looks the exact same in the desert. So this is why I'm choosing to kind of show you what I'm doing without many cuts. Also, do bear in mind, don't confuse these with the oases or ruins. So it's difficult to see sometimes during the day when it is a desert. But the best way to do this is, of course, to gain some height. As you can see from a distance, they can look kind of similar, especially when you have to deal with the heat. So we're going to fly further this way. We're kind of going towards the red obelisk. And you can see to my left the border. So we're kind of following the border. There is a bit of flying to do until we get to the next location. And as you can see it right in front, there is a oasis and a ruin. So that's what we're going for right there. And this is why I'm choosing to kind of do this without too many cuts. I want to show you how to spot them from a distance. As I said, it is a bit more difficult during the heat waves, especially during the day when it gets really hot. Here is another one. This is a Helena note. There we go. This one is, of course, the Moralatops Dossier. Right there. You can even see that it says that. And, of course, my location on the map and the GPS coordinates are 85 or 84.9 by 52.1. And if you look around, yeah, it looks all the same. You can't really tell them. So the best way of doing this is with a flyer. Not far from this, we have this oasis. Again, as I said, we're going to use the watering hole as a point of reference. You can see there's some stones right here. But right in this end right there, there is another note. So these two notes are quite closely located to one another, and here we are. You can see my location on the map. GPS coordinates are 86.0 by 51.0. I'll leave this out for a couple of seconds for you guys if you are falling behind. So from this location, we're gonna gain some altitude. I do like to try and get a bit of altitude just to kind of show you what the area ahead looks like. It does help actually with spotting them in due time as well. Okay, and right in front of us again, we can see that stone right there, that stone structure. Right next to it, there's about 3 or 4 locations that have some explorer notes. So there's one right there, there's an Oasis, so just keep that in mind. That is one of the landmarks that we look for when we are around this area looking for the notes. So here is the ruin. You can already see the note. Okay, we managed to somehow by some miracle land on top of it, which is kind of good for us. The map and the GPS coordinates are 88.6 by 38.5. You can see over there the red obelisk. We're going to fly towards those rocks right there, but you can see that there is another Oasis. Once again, we are going to land right here as a point of reference, and you can see there's some rocks and stuff around. And basically, this one is located right there, right next to where you would place the well. Again, this is a Helena note. Let me see if I can show this. Never mind, we'll just crack on. I don't really want to waste time too much here. Here's the map. GPS coordinates are 85.1 by 37.3. Now, if we look to the right, that is the stone structure that I was on about. Again, not far from it, we have another ruin, and right in the distance, you can see the Manticore Arena, which we'll do in a separate video because that has a lot of nodes to cover. So here we have the final explorer note for this particular episode. I am this time around going to try and keep the episodes shorter so that way you guys can follow easily. So smash that like button if you enjoyed these kinds of things, and join me in the next episode where we continue with the explorer notes.